everybody, Tiny House Dreaming here. It's about 6 a.m. here in Utah. I'm in the room, obviously. My roommate's in the shower, so I thought I would just take a minute to say hello to everyone. So in about 5 minutes, I'm going to be walking out to go grab some breakfast and wait on the shuttle. And so I'm up, I'm excited, I'm fully rested, and I'm ready to go, ready to do this. So I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, bye. Hey everybody, Tiny House Streaming back. It's like 9:15 in the morning. So far what we've done today is we got shuttled over to Prime's terminal here in Salt Lake City, Utah. We sat in a little simulator room for just a minute while he went through a roll call, making sure everybody was supposed to be there is there. There was one person missing. I don't know what happened to him. But he gave us like a 5 or 6 page packet to fill out, which kind of goes over you have to refill out like your employment history, if you've ever been convicted of a crime, your personal references, emergency contact, of course, name, address, like just your personal information. Then we went upstairs, and upstairs we sat in like a classroom setting. That's probably where we're going to be watching the videos, because like they had a big screen TV and like all these VCR tapes. But we didn't have to watch anything. We just sat there, and one by one we went and took a drug test, which is a urine test. And it's like the chain of custody. You have to fill out the form one by one. You go into the restroom, pee in the cup to 60 milliliters is what or 0.60 milliliters, something like that. 60.60, I'm not sure. But he tells you the line you have to fill up to. Leave the cup on the counter, don't flush, come back out and let me know you've taken it. And he'll go in there, he'll pour your urine into 2 different vials, seal both vials. You have to sign the chain of custody form, and then, you go back and sit and wait, and the next person goes. There's actually 5 people, that today's their day one, like me. In the shuttle, there was like maybe 12 to 15 of us, but a lot of them had just upgraded, or they just passed their CDL test with DMV, and they were waiting for a trainer to go into phase 2 of the training. So like there were quite a few of us, but newbies today are only 5 of us, so 4 other people besides me. So after we did all that and everybody took their drug test, sorry. Everybody calls it a piss test, but the drug test. And Prime actually does the drug test themselves there, and they send it off to a lab. As you can see, after that, like after all 5 of us were done, they shuttled us over here to Concentra, and that's where you'll take your DLT physical. Even though when you come to Utah, the requirement is, the requirement is only a requirement if you're coming from California or certain states, because you need to come to Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah. It's a little bit different in Missouri, but to Salt Lake City, Utah, you have to come with your permit already, like your CDL permit and any endorsements. You have to have a tanker endorsement, but if you're going to study anyways, just get all the endorsements you can. That's what people suggested to me. That's what I did. And in California at least, and I think it's like that in other states as well, in order to even walk into DMV to take your permit test, you have to have a DLT physical. So that's kind of the only reason that you have to get a physical back home. It's not really because Prime requires it, because either way, whether you're in a state that you have to have your physical to go into DMV and take your permit test or not, when you get to Prime, the first day of orientation, they're going to send you here where I'm standing in front of Concentra, and you're going to have to take a DLT physical. They will take another pee test or urine test here at Concentra, but it's only to test your blood sugar. It's not for a drug test. So Prime does their drug test separate. I guess they test a little bit more invasive than what Concentra might do. Like they might just do the cup where they measure the temperature and do the test in the cup, and the test tells you if you're positive for anything or whatever, where Prime wants it to be a little bit more thorough. So they actually send the valves off to a laboratory, and it takes 2 or 3 days for it to come back. So that's why they don't have Concentra do everything. But that's what you can expect. I just stepped outside real quick. They told us that we would be here for about 2.5 hours. I've been here for about 15 to 20 minutes already, so I still have a long wait. There's people that were here in front of us, just regular customers or whatever, that didn't come over with us, that are kind of waiting, so we'll be seen in order. You sign in what time you got there, so I guess they're just going in order. It doesn't matter if you're with the company that brought you over here or if you're a walk-in person off the street. and it's actually an urgent care clinic, so some people might be here just because they're sick or whatever. But yes, I thought while I had a minute and was just sitting there that I would come and check in with you guys. So I'm going to go back in, make sure I don't miss my name being called, and I will talk to you later. Hey everybody, so we made it back from Concentra. It took us about 2 hours and 15 minutes for all 5 of us to go through our physicals. And I'm back here at Prime's Terminal. We just had lunch. Here it is. I met this great driver named Santa. He's a trainer. That's him. He had a student on his truck. He's such a good driver that he has his student on his truck for 2 years. I'm excited about that because I hope I get somebody as good as that like I really don't even want to leave them and I want to stay on their truck, because you can if you want to stay with your trainer. Like if your fit is so good that you're getting along and they're willing to keep you, because they still get paid as a trainer. So if they're willing to keep you, you guys can team and you can stay with them as long as they'll have you or as long as you want to stay. But whenever you're ready, you can upgrade to become a solo driver, or if you want to be a team driver and know who you want to be your teammate on the truck, like if you have a spouse that's coming into the industry or a friend or whoever, or if you meet somebody along the way and you want a team, that's an option as well. But I just wanted to say, hey, I'm about to go and start my computer-based training. They call them CBTs. So if you ever watch any other videos of any other truckers and they say we had to take our CBTs, that's what they're talking about, computer-based training. We're gonna just get started on that, and there's a simulator in the room with us. It's not turned on or anything, but I can't wait to get on it. So I will be back. Well guys, it's like 3:59. They stopped us from doing our computer-based training for the day because the shuttle will be here. I guess 4 o'clock is the pickup time every day. If you guys want to see some of the what do they call that? Oh my gosh, I already forgot. Bobtails. If you want to see some of the bobtails, there they go. There's the Prime shuttle. So like when you go to Concentra, or I guess they probably will shuttle you to DMV when it's time, but that's how that looks. But we are actually waiting for the Ramada shuttle, which is the red shuttle. That's the hotel you'll stay in, the Ramada Inn. It's a pretty decent hotel. There's no elevator, but there's only 2 floors. So it's not too bad to walk up. Oh, and there you go, just so you guys can see. That's the Ramada shuttle. So I'll be back to you guys later. Well guys, I'm back in the room. Just real quick before my roommate comes up, I'll just show you generally what the place looks like. That's the bathroom. Of course, you see my pink spray bottle for my curls. There's a little, There's a little refrigerator. That's how it looks on the inside. Like that smell like tomatoes and cottage cheese and stuff I told you about. Those are my roommate's things. Little microwave. That's a sleeping bag and pillow I bought yesterday. They do have a little dresser, a little table. You see my pink Crocs, that's my bed. My roommate was here first, so she was already laying in that bed sleeping when I got here. But there's a gist of the room. And if you want to kind of look out, if you're interested, you can't really see any mountains or anything, but that's the courtyard. That's what Utah looks like. Maybe you can see a mountain in the distance. All the mountains have snow on them. But I'll come back to you. I'm going to go downstairs and maybe make a video because I think she's going to be coming up soon. Talk to you in a minute, guys. Okay, guys. So I am back downstairs in the lobby. So kind of just to let you know how today went, it went pretty good. The CBTs, like really, it's hard to sit there sitting still. Maybe it's just my ADD. And like I had to keep kind of getting up maybe every hour because we were only doing it for about 2.5. Well, we came back from lunch at 12:30. I started doing it about 12:45, and then we logged off. I logged off at like 3:55. So we weren't doing it for that many hours. Like it wasn't a whole day's worth. And I think I might have like 10 modules left. Like in that screenshot that I put up, you could see like there was a long list. It started out, he said there was about 30 modules. Some of them aren't really, like most of them are videos, and they're 3 to 20. I've seen one that was 25, but I only came across one so far that was 25 minutes. Most of them are like 7 minutes, 14 minutes, kind of in that range. There's a couple that are like 3 minutes. And then some of the modules you see aren't really even videos. They're like papers that you just pull up and sign, like the bottom bunk agreement that when the truck's moving, you agree to always stay for safety purposes on the bottom bunk. There's like a contract that you sign, and I believe the writing was so small. I know everything that you like sign, and even at the end of every module, you have to sign with the mouse and like you click save. So at the end, when we're all done, they're gonna print it all out and like I guess put it as part of our file that we said that we completed each module. But I believe I read on the PSD agreement, which is Prime Student Driver Agreement, which is what you'll be like a PSD if you're coming here with no CDL at all and you're using Prime to get your CDL. Um, it said that you can cancel 7 days, like 7 days into starting your training, or 7 days after orientation. You have up to 7 days after orientation to, back out of the contract and say, I don't really want to do this. This is not for me. So just because you get here, you're not really stuck in it. But you do sign that contract when you're doing the modules. So upon signing, you're acknowledging now that I know that I have 7 days after orientation. And that kind of, I think it's after orientation because it gives you a chance to actually get on the truck, get with the trainer, kind of get some miles in. I mean, with 7 days, once you're on a truck, like you would have driven a good amount of miles to like kind of know that this is completely something I hate doing. So it stops you from being stuck in that contract, because the contract with Prime is, I think I mentioned this before, but you agree to drive for them for 12 months. If you're coming as like a person that's never driven a truck, doesn't have your commercial driver's license, like you sign up with the company, they don't charge you to come and learn how to drive, get the hours under your belt so you can take your commercial driver's license test. But in turn for that, they're wanting you to commit to driving them for 12 months. And Prime is a good company, so a lot of people that come to Prime actually stay here at Prime. Like if you look up videos on YouTube about CR England and CRST, what's another bad one that I've heard about? Swift. I kind of goes back and forth. There are people that like Swift, and then there are people that don't like Swift. But Prime is one of them that a lot of people, at least a lot of people that you see on YouTube, they actually stay with past the 12 months. So that's something to think about. But if you don't, I mean, no piece of paper is going to keep you somewhere you don't want to be. So if you like get here, and even if it passes 7 days and you're just like something goes on or whatever, and you're like, you know what, forget this. I mean, a piece of paper ain't going to make you stay and drive a truck. But what's going to happen is you're going to owe Prime for the cost of the schooling that they're waiving if you work for them for 12 months. And the paper, I can't remember the exact number, but it was like 4,600 or 4,500, something around that, like right under a couple $100 under $5,000 is what the cost of the training and the hours spent teaching you and all of that stuff. So if you decide to back out of your contract, I didn't read if it was prorated or not. Some schools don't prorate it. They're like, if you leave, you owe the whole cost. And some schools do, or like company sponsored schools, they do prorate it. So like if, say you stay with Prime for 6 months, that cost would be cut in half. Like there were 5 pages to read, so I kind of just glanced over and read the things that were important to me. I'm not sure if it's prorated or not, so don't quote me on that. And if you like are interested in this, you might want to ask the recruiter when you call. I kind of plan on staying with Prime for the 12 months just because I have never in my life been big on like company hopping. And I am anticipating that Prime is going to be a good company just because I've heard a lot of good things about it from people that seem trustworthy. So, yeah, I don't plan on like in my head, I don't have it already predetermined that like, okay, I'm going to stay just to get my CDL and kind of leave after a couple months. And Prime has, from what I have researched and like all the recruiters that I've talked to, Prime pays the most per mile to newbie drivers. So that's a big plus about Prime as well. Like if you go to CR England, you're making like 14 cents a mile. Prime pays 42 cents for reefer, which is refrigerated units. They pay 47 cents for tanker, flatbed, or no, maybe it's 47 cents for flatbedders, 49 cents per mile for tankers, or yeah, 49 cents per mile for tankers. So they have the highest pay rate, like out of the gate, without you having to have any years of experience, because that's starting. Like once you get your CDL and you become a solo or team driver, that's fresh out the boat. Like you're not having to work a year, 2 years to work up to that. Other companies start you like 14 cent, 22 cent. So when you look at the pay rate, like Prime definitely is a good option if you're concerned with pay. But anyways, to go back to the day's event. So it was pretty cool. It's weird because like I was expecting it to be more men, the male to female ratio to be different than what it turned out to be. That like I told you guys in the video earlier, there's 5 of us in like the newbie class where it's our day one orientation. 4 of us are women and 1 of us is a male. So we are outnumbering the guy, but he doesn't seem to mind at all. Um, and so yeah, so it's only 5 of us. It's pretty small class. I mean, not that there's a lot of, so far it hasn't been a lot of instruction, but like it's really kind of laid back. The instructor, Troy, he's really laid back. He's, so he's like, if you have any questions, feel free, like jump in, even if it's kind of off topic. If you just something pops in your head and you want to know, just ask. And so he's been really cool. So you guys kind of seen how the day went. I'll just recap real quick. Like 7 o'clock, the shuttle leaves. So you have breakfast is served that starts being served at 6 o'clock. You can come down, eat breakfast. You have to be down here in the lobby by 6:55 a or yeah 6:55 a.m. They say 5 minutes before because the shuttle will leave without you. And I don't know if that's what happened to the one person that was missing this morning, or I'm not sure what happened because that person never showed up. But on your papers you get from your recruiter, it says if you are late the first day, just pack your bags and you're going back home. Like they don't play that. If you're here to learn and they're putting all this money in you getting here and you having a hotel, the least you could do is set your alarm and wake up. And I am okay with that. So I came down and ate breakfast, had some eggs and sausage and a cup of orange juice. The shuttle left promptly at 7 o'clock. We got to Prime. We kind of all sat around and filled out the paperwork. Then after that, we took our DLT, our not our DLT physical, our drug test. We went upstairs, took our drug test one by one. That was pretty quick, maybe 20 minutes. We were up there. After we were all done, we got on the Prime shuttle, and one of the Prime employees drove us over to Concentra. We sat there for about 2.5 hours. We all got our physicals done. Everybody passed. It's pretty straightforward. I didn't mention about what was part of the physical in my video. Like when I said, okay, I passed my permit. So all they do basically is they take a urine test. It's not for a drug test. It's to test your sugars to see if you're diabetic or how under control your diabetes is. And if you are diabetic, like I guess you need some type of paperwork or something. That's not something I don't have. I'm not diabetic, so I'm not sure the nuances. But I think you can be diabetic as long as it's under control, or you can show that you, like your physician says, that it's not a problem for you to be a driver. Um, and then what else do? They do an eye test, and I had to, like, if you have on your permit or your license that a restriction of you have to wear your glasses while driving, then they'll do your eye test with your glasses on. Um, so you do your eye test, then this doctor had me turn around and they whispered a sentence on, standing about 5 feet back, they whispered a sentence. And the first one was today it's Monday, and then the other ear they whispered today it's Tuesday, and you just have to be able to hear them and repeat back what they say. Then you go into the room, and well, actually the technician was doing all that, the urine test, and he puts it in like this little machine that I guess gives you a reading. He did the eye exam and he did the hearing exam. Then I went into a room and the physician came in there, and it's basically straightforward. Like on the form you have to put like, have you ever had heart problems? Have you ever had a seizure? Have you ever passed out? Like there's all these medical questions, and any question that you marked yes on the form you have to kind of explain like when it happened or what happened or the circumstances or whatever. And so he'll kind of just read over the form that you've already filled out before you got into that room. And any yeses you do, he'll kind of just talk over real quick, like so tell me about the heart problem, or tell me about the surgery you had, or when did you stop smoking, or are you still a smoker, because you marked yes on whatever column. So he'll just briefly ask that. I'm thinking if it's like a heart problem or something, like if it's something recent, you might want to definitely, like if you have any recent medical issues, definitely bring with you any kind of paperwork showing that it's under control, or like talk to your doctor and have your doctor like write a letter saying that, you know, this person has this ailment or whatever, or disease or whatever it is you have, but it won't affect them driving a commercial vehicle. Like, get all your ducks in a row before you come here, because I'm assuming, like, I mean, I don't have any serious ailments or conditions or anything, but like if you have a heart condition or sleep apnea, or you are prone to having seizures, or whatever your issue is, you know, it can affect you driving a commercial vehicle. So if you think that there's anything that you might have that can affect that, be proactive about it. Talk to your doctor, let them know, you know, this is what I want to go do. I want to be a commercial driver. And, you know, is there any way that you're willing to like write me a letter or something saying that I have it under control. I've been, you know, taking medicine for however long. As long as I continue my medicine, everything's fine. Like, you know, whatever the circumstances of your illness or whatever is, you want to prove to the company that you have it under control and it's not going to affect you behind the wheel. And it still might be some type of procedures you have to go through. Even if you have a letter, I'm sure there would be, because you got to think about, like, you're behind this huge truck that can kill people, including yourself. So like, they want to make sure that you are capable. So, you know, that's just something to think about. But so he goes over that form. Any yeses that you've marked, you know, just talk to him about it, explain it. I mean, it's not like he needs thorough explanations. It's just a quick, brief, like, you know, like, just brief things. And what else does he do? Oh, so he has you squat. So like, well, first he has you stand up straight. You see if you can touch your toes, stand back up, then squat, get back up, like without holding on to anything, to make sure that you're able to squat up and down and like your knees aren't an issue. And that's basically, the squatting is because when you're driving a big truck, you have to, like, sometimes your brakes will get frozen, or you need to check your air tanks or something like that. So there will be times where you're going to need to be able to squat and go under your truck to like look at something, hammer your brakes loose if they're frozen or something like that. So they want to make sure that you have the ability, like if you're at a truck stop or something, that you can actually squat under the truck and do those things. So that's the purpose of the squatting. He like has you hold your arms out in front of you and like kind of presses down just to make sure that you're not like weak or whatever. They do like the knee tap test where they tap your knee, you know, to check the reaction or whatever. Then you lay back like most of the time, and it's a quick physical, like literally 10 minutes you'll be in the room with the doctor. Unless maybe might be more if you have like those heart problems or like diabetes or something that might require other stuff. So like, I don't have any issues. So like for me, it was just kind of straightforward, just letting you know like what to expect as much as I know. So most of the time you're sitting like on the, you know, little bed in the room. The only time you have to lay down, and it's for literally like 30 seconds, is they have you lay down and he like presses here, and like he kind of goes down and has you breathe in and take a breath out to see if you have any pain or uncomfortableness, or I guess maybe he's feeling for like firmness or something, not really sure. But then they of course listen to your breathing to make sure that you're breathing okay and your lung health is okay. They listen to your heart to make sure your heart's okay. And I'm trying to think, am I missing anything? That's pretty much all, you know. And then they sign off. And they give you a long form which is a copy of like all the questions that you mark yes or no, and your response answer to like, if it says like, have you ever been or are you currently a smoker? If you check yes, like that would be something that in the box down below you can like put, yes, I'm a smoker, I smoke 1 pack a day, or no, I'm not a smoker, I stopped in 2013, or like whatever your explanation of why you marked yes. Like, it doesn't have to be a long, lengthy explanation. You just have to tell him something. And that's the kind of thing that the doctor will go over. He'll see you check yes as a smoker. He'll ask you about it, even though you wrote it already in the bottom of the comment section, like you put before you see the doctor, but he'll just reiterate to make sure that like you wrote the right thing or whatever. So that's basically it. Like so anyway, sorry, people are walking in front of me. He'll print out the long form, and then they'll also give you your card. The card is what you carry with you. Like, so if you're ever stopped while you're driving by a DOT officer and they ask you, show me your medical card, and the card, you can get up to 2 years cleared medically. Like if you have problems with sleep apnea or something, they might clear you for like a year with a restriction or something where like you have to see a doctor every 3 months or get it rechecked every 6 months or whatever. But the longest, you have to definitely get a physical at least every 2 years. That's the longest you can go between DOT physicals. So he'll let you know like, oh, I approved you for, like in my case, 2 years for like both doctors back home in California and this one I seen today, because I'm overall pretty healthy. Not even pretty healthy, I'm healthy. So, but that's how it goes. He'll print out the papers and give them to you. And like for if you were going by yourself, then you would just get in your car and go back home. But we all waited for each other, and then the shuttle, when we were all done, we called the shuttle. He came and picked us back up, took us back to Prime. Um, we took lunch a little bit early from like 11:30 to 12:30, and they cater out. So like when you get there in the morning, as we were doing the drug test, they gave us like this menu and a little form, and you could put like what you pick off the menu. And by the time we got back from the physical, our lunch had already been delivered there. So we just grabbed our lunch. It's in a box with your name on it. And so we got an hour lunch. We all sat in the break room there. And there was a lot of people sitting in there, like different truckers, more people than were just in my class. So I'll try to catch the break room if it's empty, or if maybe there's one person that doesn't mind me just panning past them real quick, just because I don't think anybody's shown the break room in Utah. So I'll try to catch that. But there was a lot of people in there today, a lot of truckers, like at least 20 people. But so we took an hour, ate lunch. Then that's when we went back and started our CBTs, and we did that up until 3:55 when it was time to go to the shuttle, and here we are now. So that's basically a gist of how the day went. I guess what I can do is kind of walk you guys, let you see the hotel. So I'll kind of just pan around and you can look behind me. But this is how the hotel room is. Looks pretty nice. And that's just me in the mirror. And this is kind of like, this is where we all wait in the morning to wait for the shuttle. When they serve breakfast in the morning, they set it up on here. It's empty now, but like they have all of like they have like danishes, cereal, eggs, sausage, everything spread out. There's a restaurant behind me, and it goes kind of back as you walk down, and there's like a TV and stuff. And out here, let me walk you. And actually, I'm gonna just walk up to my roommate real quick because our keys, like for some reason, didn't work when we came back today. So I'm gonna just give her key. Here's your key. Thank you. You're welcome. So I'm gonna walk you guys real quick because they have like a little fitness center. And maybe I'll walk you outside real quick, let you see the joint. Oh, there's the little, not that you can drink. If you're here for trucking, you cannot drink. You sign a agreement saying that you won't drink. But here's a nice little bar area that's part of the restaurant. But yeah, that don't be in the bar drinking. That's a no-no. You will get sent home if somebody sees you drinking, or they can randomly pull you and just want you to do a alcohol test. And if you test for any, not even like the legal limit, like if you have any detection of alcohol in your system, they will send you home on your dime. But here is the way the outside of the hotel looks. I'm gonna try to stay out the frame. And like over there on that side, it's not much to look at, but just to let you see. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see. Let me see if you can see the mountains over there in the distance. No, I don't think the camera's picking it up. Oh, maybe. So you can kind of see the snow on the mountaintops. But I'll walk you guys into the fitness center real quick. And while I'm walking, at the end of the day, before you get on the shuttle, like literally 5 minutes before you get on the shuttle, Troy, our like instructor guy, he gave us a voucher. So it's a food voucher for $10 at the restaurant that's here in the hotel. So like I was saying, if they pay for your food and stuff, they cater the lunch. Like I just told you, you get to pick out what you want. And they have like sandwiches, salads, soups. You can get like half and half or whatever. But here's the little fitness room. So if you're into working out, you can come down. There's not much, but there's, it's cool. I don't know what this is. I'm kind of, okay, it shows you like different little things, and it has like the pulley, whatever they're called, yeah. So you can work out if you come here, and remember that this is the Utah, not the Missouri. And they have like, this is the vending machine area that's half full. Then they have like 2 computers. They do have free Wi-Fi. The connection is not that great. Like yesterday I was gonna hook up to it when I uploaded my video, but it was like 2 bars. You know how the Wi-Fi little thing looks on your phone? There was like 2 bars, but yeah, so that's pretty much it. It's a 2-story hotel. There's no elevator, so you have to walk up the stairs. There's 2 bathrooms. I don't know how clean they are. I only used the one in the room. But yeah, it's a pretty decent hotel. I can't complain about it. So there you have it, guys. I will be back with you tomorrow to let you guys know how orientation day 2 went. But there's day 1 in a nutshell. I know this video is kind of long, but thanks for hanging in there with me. Okay, bye.